Hey everybody, Will Fix here. Got another video for you today. Is XRP price limited? Wow, so there's a new bank rule about cryptocurrencies being held at a limit of 1% for Tier 1 assets, and I believe it's 2% for Tier 2 assets. What does this mean? Does this even limit the price of XRP? You might be surprised at the answer I'm going to give. I've seen some fear, uncertainty, and doubt attached to this particular rule, and I'm going to talk about this today. And I want to say before I get started that I love Lewis Jackson's channel, and if I ever dispute what somebody has said, it's in a friendly way, and it's just based on the knowledge, and it's not personal in any way. I would never want to offend. I don't want to offend anybody. I have fun with Crypto Hulk. I'm part of his channel. I'm a member. And, and sometimes I talk like Crypto Hulk because sometimes, you give information that nobody else has, and I have fun. But I'm not making fun of that person. I'm having fun with the idea of the person. I love these people. And so I don't ever want that to come out wrong. So I'm going to dispute some things and go over some things that Lewis Jackson came out with. And Lewis, I love you. We need to collaborate sometime, man. Your channel's brilliant. I can only hope to have a channel like yours one day. You got a huge channel. You do a fantastic job. I love your deep dives. But we're going to talk about this new bank rule and how it might work, and we're just going to look at the details. Let's go ahead and get started. And sorry about the long, drawn-out introduction, but this is a very important video. I really want you to watch this till the end. When some of you are clicking out at 3, 4, 5 minutes before we get to the end, you're missing critical information. And I notice in the comments things said, and I can tell people didn't even watch the whole video. They think they got the understanding of the video because you're waiting for the main point, and then if you think you got it, you click out. And sometimes there's more information. Sometimes I build up in the narrative that's the wrong narrative, so that I establish the wrong narrative and then I establish the right narrative. So I've had at times people misunderstand because while I'm establishing the wrong narrative, they'll click out and they don't even see that I totally reversed the idea and overcame and objected to that narrative. So please hang in there with me during this video. If you don't have a custody wallet and you're not into self-custody, please change your mind. Get yourself a decent wallet. I use the decent wallet. I've spoken many times about it, of course, to the aggravation of some, I suppose. But I do love the wallet. They gave me a link that gives you a discount. So that's why I talk about it all the time. Get the discount. Use my link. The decent wallet will take coins easily that other wallets do not take. And I won't go into full details, just a short commercial. Thank you for watching. Now back to the subject matter. Here is a little bit about what Lewis Jackson said, and I'll just put little pieces of his clips in this video, and then we'll talk about it.
So a Group 1 digital asset is as follows. These are things like tokenized traditional assets, so tokenized deeds for homes or anything tokenized, essentially, tokenized real-world assets. What also comes into that category are stable coins. And if they meet certain conditions, they end up being a Group 1 digital asset. Now, a Group 2 digital asset, unbacked crypto assets, which means the asset itself isn't backed by anything like gold. For example, fiat currency, the dollar, was backed by gold pre-1972 or something, until it turned into an unbacked asset. You can also get stable coins as a Group 2 asset if they have ineffective stabilization mechanisms built into them. So if you have a stable coin that's not very reliable, it's got specific mechanisms that don't work, that will be a Group 2 asset. But if they have those mechanisms in place, it will be a Group 1 asset. So that means XRP itself is a Group 2 asset.
Let's take a look at Tier 2 assets and the qualifications for it. Here's the answer to why is crypto considered a Tier 2 asset. He said emphatically that XRP was a Tier 2 asset. I don't believe that's true. Let's look at the qualifications that make something become a Tier 2 asset. Based on the information provided, crypto assets are considered Tier 2 assets because they are less liquid and more volatile than Tier 1 assets. Tier 1 assets are typically considered core capital and include items such as common stock, retained earnings, and disclosed reserves. These assets are considered the most reliable and are the primary source of funding to a bank. On the other hand, Tier 2 assets are supplementary capital that are less reliable than Tier 1 capital. They are considered riskier because they're more difficult to liquidate. Crypto assets fall into this category because they are often considered highly volatile and less liquid compared to traditional assets. Additionally, under the Basel III framework, banks are required to limit their exposure to crypto assets to ensure the stability of the financial system. The Basel Committee on Banking Supervision has set a limit on banks' exposure to certain crypto assets. According to Tweets and Snippets, a bank's total exposure to Group 2 crypto assets must generally not be higher than 1% of the bank's Tier 1 capital. However, in some cases, this limit can be extended up to 2% of the bank's Tier 1 capital. This classification of crypto assets as Tier 2 assets reflects the view that they are riskier and less reliable than traditional Tier 1 assets, and therefore should be treated with caution in the financial system. Now let's look at what just regular assets are considered that aren't in these categories. What makes something be just a regular asset instead of it being deemed risky? So, high liquidity. Does XRP have high liquidity? That's its main focus, isn't it? The asset would be easy to buy or sell for cash with minimal impact on its price. This would be facilitated by a large volume of trades on exchanges, which would allow traders to enter or exit positions at the current market price without significantly affecting the asset's value. Stable market. The asset would have a stable market with relatively small fluctuations in price. This stability would make it less risky for traders to hold the asset, as they would be less likely to experience significant losses due to price volatility. Keep in mind, this is talking about holding the asset. Wide acceptance. The asset would be widely accepted by various exchanges and platforms, making it easy for traders to find buyers or sellers that want to liquidate their holdings. Well, so far, the stability of XRP might be in question, but right now we're qualifying, aren't we? We have high liquidity, we have wide acceptance, easy to transfer. The asset would be easy to transfer between wallets or platforms which further enhance its liquidity. We have that. High trading volume. The asset would have a high trading volume, indicating significant level of interest and activity from traders that would ensure there would always be buyers and sellers available, making it easy to exit position. We have that. Decentralized and independent. We have that. XRP was the first decentralized currency. The asset would operate independently of traditional financial systems, wouldn't be controlled by the central authority. This would allow it to maintain its liquidity and stability even in the face of external pressures and market conditions. Look what's happened with XRP during these bad market conditions. It's actually gone up in price. Well known and established. The asset would have to be secured and transparent blockchain that would ensure the integrity of its transactions and safety of its user funds. So a blockchain that is stable and has transparency, that's what a ledger is the transparency of seeing everywhere that token's ever been is recorded on the ledger. That's what it holds on the ledger. Regulated. The asset would be subject to some form of regulation which be provided which would provide a level of oversight and consumer protection. This would help maintain its stability, liquidity, and its acceptance by the wider market. Now, the BIS and other countries have established a regulatory framework, and we're getting ready to see XRP be exited from a whole bunch of lawsuits. We do need a little more regulation. So there's only two aspects of this that might make XRP not qualify. But we're going to look a little bit deeper. Let's take a quick look at this article. Ripple's XRP gains stablecoin status from World Bank. Well, look at this. The World Bank has officially recognized Ripple's native currency XRP as a stablecoin. This classification marks a significant milestone for Ripple and its digital asset. Now, it's not talking about RLUSD. Underscoring its growing acceptance and utility in the global financial landscape. The discussion around the development was sparked by a tweet from a well-known Ripple supporter, leading to further insights from Sean McBride, a former director at Ripple. Ripple's strategic vision and XRP's utility. In response to the discussion initiated on social media, Sean McBride reiterated his confidence in XRP's utility and the strides made towards the widespread adoption, despite the speculation surrounding Ripple's potential issuance of a new stablecoin. McBride highlighted the World Bank recognition of XRP as a stablecoin. This acknowledgement validates Ripple's efforts to position XRP as a reliable medium for cross-border payments and settlements, and hints at the possibility of XRP evolving into a stablecoin into the future. The classification by the World Bank, however, has not been without controversy. Analysts have pointed out that the World Bank's stance might be influenced by XRP Ledger, XRPL, long-standing plans to introduce a stablecoin despite these speculations. The acknowledgement by the prestigious institution like the World Bank significantly boosts Ripple's credibility and the utility of XRP within the financial ecosystem. The conversation around Ripple's decision not to launch a liquid stablecoin on the XRPL over the past years has been reignited. Crypto influencer Mr. Hubbard speculated that Ripple's focus on establishing XRP as a bridge currency for central bank digital currencies might have played a role in this strategic decision. This perspective suggests that Ripple views private stablecoins as competing technology, therefore prioritizing the role of its native token as a bridge currency. Furthermore, the support of XRP following McBride's comments has been notable, with Ripple enthusiasts like Rath Kahneman emphasizing the potential benefits of a stablecoin revolution. The argument is that a regulated stablecoin could attract massive liquidity to the ledger, addressing concerns over XRP's volatility in payment scenarios. This discussion sheds light on the strategic considerations Ripple might be weighing as it negates the rapidly evolving digital currency landscape. Implications for Ripple and the cryptocurrency market. The World Bank's classification of XRP as a stablecoin and the ensuing discussions underscore the complex dynamics in the cryptocurrency market. Ripple's strategic decisions, particularly regarding the potential development of a stablecoin, are closely watched by investors, analysts, and enthusiasts alike. The company's efforts to enhance XRP's utility as a bridge currency on the World Bank's recognition position Ripple at the forefront of the discussion and the future of cross-border payments and digital currencies. As the debate continues, the implications for Ripple and the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem remain significant. The recognition by the World Bank not only lends credibility to XRP, but also highlights the evolving nature of digital currencies and their potential to transform the global financial system, with Ripple at the center of these developments. The future of XRP in its role within the cryptocurrency market will be the key area of focus for stakeholders across the financial landscape. So the World Bank had already declared XRP as a stablecoin This was 5 months ago. I got some other points that I want to make because that still leaves it a little questionable, doesn't it? But I have a few things that I want to give you that just totally eliminate the idea that it's going to limit XRP. I have 2 ideas to share with you. The first idea is surrounded around how banks play with money to navigate between regulations. One of the things that a bank could do is create a loan. Now let's look at this. So banks are required to report quarterly. So at what length of time is an asset held to be considered, I misspelled considered there, a tier 1 asset? Well, it only needs to be reported at the end of the quarter if what their tier 1 assets or tier 2 assets are. So at any time in the middle of the quarter, they can be way over as long as they're in compliance at the end. So you see what's happening? If I'm going to send $10 billion to another bank, and that's way over my limit for having tier 1 assets because they consider that too risky, and say XRP doesn't qualify. I say they do. But let's say they don't qualify, and so it's in the tier 1 asset class. Since it doesn't qualify, it's subject to the 1% rule, and let's say that's 5 times my 1% allowance. Okay, so what do? Well, number one, I can borrow $10 billion from another bank. That's not considered me holding my money. That's a loan. That's not inside my tier 1 asset. That's not inside my capital holdings as risky money. So then I convert that to XRP and I send it. Then I pay the loan off. That never entered into the mix. What else could I do? So I ask this. I ask this here, and the answer is a loan to the bank is not included in a tier 1 asset if it is made and paid for within the quarter. The tier 1 assets are typically long-term assets that are considered core capital, such as common stock and retained earnings. A loan that is made and paid off within the same quarter would not be considered a long-term asset and therefore would not be included in tier 1 capital. Remember when I emphasized holding a few minutes ago? This is holding assets for customers, or the bank converts them or whatever they do. But generally, you're holding it in the form it was given. And the banks aren't allowed to hold customers' money or have a certain amount that they're holding in cryptocurrency because of the volatility if that cryptocurrency doesn't qualify. So if it doesn't qualify as regular liquid asset, then it has to fall under the category of what they're talking about here, and then it's subject to that 1% rule to protect the bank. But if it doesn't fall underneath those guidelines because it meets all those requirements we just talked about, then it doesn't even come into the picture. It's just an asset they can hold. Now remember, we're talking about holding the asset, not converting some of your assets or moving a customer's money so you convert it to XRP. As soon as you send it, it's not yours anymore. That flash of time is not holding it as a tier 1 asset. Has nothing to do with your balance sheets. And at the end of the quarter, it's not that it tallied up as $10 billion that you sent. You take $10 billion and you turn it into XRP and send it, it's actually gone. When you report it the quarter, it's already over. So if somebody said, well, what if they don't want to do loans? Well, then they could do, let's say $1 billion was their limit and they needed to send 10 billion. Okay, so 10 billion is their limit. So you convert and you do $10 billion spurts because the moment you send it, it's now not yours anymore. That's how Nostro accounts work. Let's look at that and just read that real quick. Trying to keep it short, just going to hit the high point. A Nostro Vostro account is a bank account where one bank has another bank's money on deposit. Typically, so that doesn't count as yours. If you're holding theirs, that's theirs, not yours. Typically on behalf of a foreign bank in relation to international trade or other financial transactions. This also involves deposit overdrafts whereby depositors are authorized to obtain funding in a form of an overdraft The terms Nostro and Vostro are used to indicate which bank has the money on deposit. It is true that Vostro-Nostro account is only subject to anti-credit reporting if, on the reporting reference date, the account's balance is such that the reporting agent has a claim on the other institution. It's reporting agent's money that is deposited in the account Nostro. The point being that I want to make with Vostro-Nostro accounts is when you send money, it's not your holdings. And if you've received money, it's not considered yours yet. If it's hanging out in that account, it's on the other bank's balance sheet. Now, banks knowing these rules and wanting to move money and save money and use XRP, I'm telling you that 1% rule means absolutely nothing. There's plenty of ways for them to articulate their ideas around and to come up with a paradigm to move the same amount of money the same way. So they can't hold it as their holdings in Tier 1 classification, because Tier 1's their core capital, but there's a lot of money that doesn't fit into the core capital. They want banks to be liquid. There needs to be an 8% or more of a Tier 1 assets in order for a bank to be considered healthy. So not including cryptocurrency in there is about holdings, not use. Has nothing to do with use. They will be able to convert and use plenty of XRP all they want. So I just wanted to settle that. I had some people asking me about it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day.